The human brain invented an idea called a future. No other animal has a sense of a future as we do. And because we invented this idea of a future, we're the only animal that said we can affect the future by what we do today.
Powerful words from Dr. David Suzuki, who joins us here in the BT studios. Thank you for coming.
Good to be here.
Tell us about the Blue Dot Tour.
Well, it's based on the idea that our notions of what are basic human rights are constantly changing. You know, half the population couldn't vote. Women weren't considered fully human until 1918. Asian Canadians, African Canadians couldn't vote until 1948. And Indigenous people weren't allowed to vote until 1960. Until 1969, homosexuality was illegal in Canada. They could throw you in jail for that. So our ideas of what should be a basic human right are constantly changing, and we believe that the right to a healthy environment is long overdue to be enshrined in the Constitution. And if we did that, we would join over 110 countries in the world that already have that. So I think it's an idea that will be very, very heavily supported across Canada.
The Blue Dot Tour, bluedot.ca/tour is where you can get tickets. You've got an amazing event coming up on the 9th.
It's going to be fantastic, but that's the way it's been right across the country. We've had, you know, Chantal Kreviak in Toronto, the Bare Naked Ladies played there, Jim Cuddy and Joel Plaskett. I mean, we've had fantastic people contributing. Bruce Coburn was with us in Edmonton. And
you got Neil Young.
Neil Young is coming to Vancouver. We've got so many people packed in that one. It's going to be a great way to finish a 7-week tour across the country.
There are many people championing sustainability here, particularly on the West Coast, and you spend a bulk of your time here as well, like the Ned Bells of the world riding his bike across Canada in the name of sustainable seafood. We all try and make a difference, but with the Blue Dot Tour, you want us as citizens to make change. What's the #1 thing you would ask us to do at home if we're doing really nothing?
Well, the problem we face is corporations, of course, have a very short time frame. They have to look at the quarterly report every 3 months it comes out. Politicians, when they're elected, their absolutely highest priority is getting reelected. Well, guess what? Kids don't vote. Future generations don't exist. So no politician is going to come before us and say, this is what we've got to do for the sake of our kids or future generations. That's our job as parents, as grandparents, to say, hey, wait a minute now. I'm involved in the political process. We elect you to serve us. And now we're going to tell you the future for our children and grandchildren is uppermost in our minds. It better be for you too. That's our job. We've got to be involved in the political process. If we have a democracy, despite robocalls and attack ads and all that stuff, if we believe in a democracy, we've got to get out there and be involved. And our job, I believe, is to look out for the future for our kids, because nobody else is.
And we are concerned for the future. We think as Canadians that we rank very highly when it comes to being environmentally aware. Not true.
If Canadians are proud of their country abroad, then I think they would be shocked to realize how low our standing is in the international world. And we've gone to meeting after meeting, international meeting on climate change, and Canada has been in there just fighting, as denying the reality of climate change, wanting no regulations or targets imposed. I mean, to his credit, Mr. Chrétien signed the Kyoto Protocol. He didn't sign that as a liberal. He signed that as the Prime Minister of Canada. When Mr. Harper came in, he then reneged and got out of an internationally binding treaty. So Canadians ought to understand that we are regarded as real mavericks. And I don't think that reflects what Canadians are. Canadians overwhelmingly say nature is vital to who I am and my well-being.
And many of us were very shocked to find out how many protected parklands we had at the beginning of the current government's tenure and how few we have now.
Now that I don't know what the figures are. We have less than 12% of the land base in Canada, which is protected as parks, which is a target that was set by the Brundtland Commission in 1987. I think 12% is ludicrous. We are one species out of 30 million species, and we're going to take over 88% of the land for us? That's crazy. I think every bit of wilderness, and here in British Columbia, we are very, very fortunate. Every bit of our wilderness should be protected now because it's disappearing everywhere in the world.
I've only got 15 seconds left. I can't believe how fast this is going by. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you at least about Kinder Morgan.
What about it?
How do you feel about the protests that are happening now? Where the government stands? Is this just something that's going to get pushed through? How concerned should we be?
The public is expressing its concerns, and I think we better start listening to that. I say good for the protesters, saying that we can't just keep rolling over and letting corporations do whatever they want. Corporations don't care what the mess is when they leave. They want something now to up their profits. And good for the public for getting out there and saying, we want something better.
And one thing we did talk about in the green room is how the science is in on global warming. And
it's not a scientific issue. The science is in. The thing that's remarkable to me is all of the papers that have come out. Scientists are apoplectic, saying, what's wrong with us? There are opportunities to get off fossil fuels, and it will grow the economy because wind and solar and geothermal, all those opportunities are there. You just have to say, we can't keep going down the path we're on.
Blue Dot Tour, we need to go. Clearly, we all have plans on the 9th of this month, just coming up in a few days. It's at the Orpheum Theatre. You can get VIP tickets right now, bluedot.ca/tour. Dr. David Suzuki, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here, sir.